You guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, and this channel is dedicated to beauty, skincare, fitness, lifestyle, and all of that. So please do hit subscribe. It would also mean a lot to me if you do like this video and comment as well. So this one is going to be a bit more personal. It is going to be about my own experience with endometriosis and surgery for endometriosis. I have some makeup here because I'm going to be doing a video soon on, I was thinking if I was going to do it instead of this video, but I feel like this one kind of takes precedence. But I will be posting a video soon of the Natasha Denona palettes, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned because I'll be posting that this week. All right, so I don't edit my videos. This is going to be I'm just going to talk to you guys about it and hope that it helps people that are going through similar experiences. So every year in the US, we get pap smears, and I had noticed that when the doctor would press on my lower stomach area, that I felt very sensitive and very uncomfortable. I was seeing this one OBGYN that was a guy. He didn't really think anything of it. I switched to a female OBGYN, and when I expressed discomfort, she immediately sent me for an ultrasound. So I went for an ultrasound and they confirmed that I had cysts on both ovaries, the right and the left, one on each, but they could not, so when you get an ultrasound, there's a doctor that actually interprets the ultrasound, and on the notes they had indicated that they thought there was a dermoid cyst and then some other type of cyst. They didn't know exactly what it was, but they did recommend to proceed to get an MRI. So getting an MRI was literally the most ridiculous experience because my doctor, my OBGYN, she received the results of my ultrasound that stated that I should be getting an MRI, but she said that she didn't feel it was necessary, that she recommends just watching it. To me, when a doctor recommends just watching something, that to me is a bad sign, because it's like, what are we watching for? For it to get bigger? She basically was waiting for it to get bigger, which to me doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because if it gets bigger, it can lead to torsion, which is where the cyst will actually wrap around the ovary and can actually kill the ovary off, or they can actually become malignant over time. So there was no sense to me in keeping something inside of me that is going to just get worse. I mean, they're not going to go away, not the type of cysts. So she wouldn't send me for an MRI. So I went to my primary care doctor and I had the results of the ultrasound sent to her. She said, "Oh, why did your OBGYN not send you for an MRI? It says here that they recommend you getting one." And I said, "Oh, well, she didn't think it was necessary. She just wants to watch it. And I'm not okay with that. I want to have an MRI." So proceeded forward. She went ahead and requested the MRI based on the results of the ultrasound. This whole process probably took over a year. Absolutely ridiculous. So eventually I went to get my MRI done and they confirmed I had cysts on each ovary. One, they did say they believed to be a mature dermoid cyst, and then the other one was they believed to be a chocolate cyst, which is an endometrioma. It's basically a blood-filled cyst. And so I had those results sent over to my OBGYN. My OBGYN does surgeries. And so when I went in for a follow-up, I had those results sent to her and she asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, I want them removed. Now, a little bit of backstory is I had been experiencing a lot of bloating, especially my lower stomach. And I had had tests so there's different type of doctors, right? So there's a gastrointestinal doctor that deals with the stomach, the digestive system, and all of that. So I had all of that checked. Everything came back fine, no issues there. And so to me, it was because of the cysts. In addition, I also had back pain for, God, as long as I can remember. And I'm not talking about just subtle back pain. I am talking about debilitating back pain that would literally affect me on a daily basis and really alter my quality of life. It was so painful. I also had, for a period of time, like piriformis syndrome. I think that was something else. But it was to the point of where it was so debilitating that I actually thought I was going to have back surgery. So I said to my doctor, you know, I want these removed. There's not any sense in keeping these in my body just to watch them and for them to eventually get worse. So she said that she would go ahead and proceed to do surgery if that's what I wanted to do. And then I found out that my insurance did not cover the specific surgery center that she operated out of. So I had to go and be transferred to a different doctor in the office who performed surgeries at the hospital because the hospital was supposedly covered by my insurance. So finally, months and months and months after that, got that approved, and I had my surgery done mid-November of this year, 2024. So this video may be a little bit long because now I'm going to talk about that experience as far as surgery, because my goodness, I was not quite expecting there to be this amount of recovery time. So I am about 6, almost 7 weeks post-op, and I'm not fully recovered yet. I consider myself a very healthy individual. I love going to the gym. I take care of myself very well. And so anyway, back to the hospital. So try not to leave anything out. There may be a little bit back and forth because it's a lot of information. But basically, I had to fast after midnight the day prior to the surgery. And so what happens, at least in my instance, is a few days prior to the surgery, I had to go to the hospital to have blood work done. They want to check your blood type in case you need a blood transfusion, and they want to check your vitals, just make sure that everything is working properly. So that all went fine. And then during that visit, they provided me with a body wash that was red in color, and it was like a disinfectant body wash. They gave me 2 bottles of this. I was to basically shower and completely from neck all the way down wash my body with this antiseptic body wash to basically get rid of any germs. And then I had to also do that the day of the surgery itself. So just basically, this stuff does not smell good at all. It just basically smells like alcohol. And yeah, basically just strips your skin of any germs and things like that. So then I arrived at the hospital and they take you back. You're in a hospital bed and they basically wipe my body down. Same thing from neck all the way down to pretty much my ankles. And I changed into a gown. Then they put the IV in my arm, and I spoke with the anesthesiologist. He came over, spoke to me, and kind of told me, you know, what he's going to be doing, and they would be putting a nerve block on both sides of my stomach to help with the pain and so forth. Then the doctor came over and I spoke with her, and then it was just kind of a weighing game. I had to get to the hospital 2 hours prior to my surgery, and it wasn't until my exact surgery time that they actually took me back to the operating room. And I just remember getting wheeled in my bed to the operating room, and you go in this room. There were like 5 people in there. There was the anesthesiologist, some nurses, and then the doctor wasn't in there at that time, but this big white room with this bed in the middle and all of this different equipment and and things like that. Everybody was super nice. Then the anesthesiologist, she introduced herself to me, and before I know it, I was off to sleep. And but actually prior to that, they did I had to like move over into this bed in the operating room, and then I was like asleep before I knew it. So then I woke up. So the type of surgery is called laparoscopy, robotic ovarian laparoscopy, something like that. The words could be a little bit mixed up here and there, but basically what they do is they go in with a camera through your belly button. So in my instance, they made a total of 4 incisions, and one in my belly button, one on each side, kind of by where the ovaries are, and one a little bit further up on my stomach. And the incisions are probably about 1/2 inch each one. And they go in through the belly button with the camera. And then basically what they do, I didn't realize this. Well, actually I did. They kind of mentioned this a little bit at the for the pre-op appointment with my doctor. Basically what they do is they inflate your stomach with all of this carbon dioxide so that your stomach is big and expanded, so that when they go in, it basically, you know, lifts the skin and everything away from your organs, so then that way they can work on your organs. And so they went ahead and did that. And so when I got out of surgery, I remember waking up and I could feel the discomfort from the incisions. They had wrapped kind of like a band. It was like a big white band, really tight around my stomach to hold everything in. And I just remember being so uncomfortable. They took me out in a wheelchair, and they prescribed me anti-nausea, because I guess some people throw up after surgery. Anti-nausea medication. I personally didn't need that. Oxycodone for the pain, and then basically gas pills, because what happens is, because they inflate your body with all that CO2, it has to come out. And so when you're done with your surgery, your stomach is so bloated and uncomfortable. And my doctor basically said that she wanted me to start walking around as soon as I can, to get all of that CO2 out. And for the first 3 to 4 days after my surgery, I was in a lot of pain, very, very uncomfortable. I could really feel the pain of the incisions, and of course, you know, the stuff that they're doing inside. Really uncomfortable. I couldn't get in and out of bed without assistance. And of course, so for me, I don't like to sleep on my back. I've just always had a hard time sleeping on my back. And so this surgery forced me to sleep on my back. But I will tell you, that is some of the best sleep that I've gotten. And now I actually sleep on my back. So that's cool, because that really helps with like your back and the alignment of your body and things like that. So I like that part. But anyway, yes, it took probably about 4 days for me to feel a little bit more mobile. And I'm trying to think what else. So what happened is I took probably 2 to 3 days to actually take the band off of my stomach, the wrap off of my stomach. And then I showered. I was actually really nervous to have a shower, which is why I waited an additional day, because I was really worried about the pain of the incisions. But having that shower, actually, it was not painful at all. So I'm trying to think what else. So I will say that overall my bloating has gone down quite a bit after the surgery than what it was prior to me getting the surgery. And I noticed that a lot of my back pain has gone away, which is great. I actually still get back pain here and there, but it's not as bad as what it was prior to me having the procedure done. I'm very thankful and grateful that I had the procedure done. I think it was the best decision for me. And let's see. So I'm now yeah, about 6 to 7 weeks post-op, I still have, all right, so I still have, all right, so let me back up a little bit. So the incisions, they're a total of 4, as I mentioned earlier. And so the one in my belly button, I was most worried about actually, because I was really worried it was gonna like make my belly button look funky. You cannot tell at all looking at my belly button. It looks exactly the same. And then the one on my right side, in addition, has healed wonderfully. However, I am still dealing with issues with the ones on the left side of my body, which is really, really bugging me because it is prohibiting me from going back to the gym. I'm very active. I like to work out every day. I like to lift heavy, and I have not been able to do that. That's been a real struggle for me to spend all this time away from the gym. I feel lazy. That's been really hard because I was told by the doctor, give it 4 weeks. Well, we're now at almost 7 weeks, and there's one incision that is almost healed. There's one that is having a little bit of a harder time healing, and so I have to really be careful with that one. I didn't realize prior to me getting this that the recovery time would be as long as it has, but I am thankful that I got it done. I'm glad that the cysts that I have had are out of my body now. That gives me a lot of peace of mind knowing that these things are not going to be getting bigger or progressively worse or affecting my fertility, things like that. So yeah, I am thankful for that. It's kind of been tough though. I feel like here in the US especially, you really have, and I think everywhere, guys, like you really have to advocate for your own health. And if you have a doctor, okay, so we all know our bodies best. I don't care what a doctor tells me. I know my body more than anyone else, just like you know your body more than anybody else. And so with that being said, the point of this message is you really have to advocate for your own health. And if you're not getting the answers that you need to get a second opinion. If your doctor is not listening to you, if they're brushing you off, if you feel like they don't really have your best interest at heart, then I would get a second opinion or change doctors. The fact that I had to wait, so this process took over a year, guys, for me to actually get this approved. I think actually probably 2 years. And so the whole time I was like worried that these things were like malignant in my body, worried that they were getting bigger. In fact, I think they did get a little bit bigger from the time that I had the initial ultrasound to the time that I had the next MRI. But you really have to fight for stuff. And just because somebody's a doctor, that doesn't mean that they know everything, you know? Just remember that. Doctors don't know everything. In fact, even now, like when it comes to the healing, I've gotten multiple opinions from different doctors and I'm hearing different things depending on which doctor I go to. So, case in point, make sure that you are advocating for yourself. Make sure that you are obtaining second opinions. And if something doesn't feel right or doesn't sound right, you need to make sure that you question that. Because the worst thing is to disregard your own intuition and go off of what the doctor says, and then you're in a situation months or years down the line where you now have a serious illness and it's too late. So I do hope that this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, anything like that, if there's anything that I've missed, which I probably did, honestly, because I haven't structured this video, please let me know. I would love to hear your comments. I'll be honest, when I had the surgery, I didn't know what to expect at all. There wasn't much information out there. yeah, I did not know. And so the recovery has been much longer than I wanted it to be, but don't let that discourage you in any way. Health comes first. So again, I hope this was helpful, and please do hit like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time. Oh, and again, I'll be doing videos of these. So if you're interested, I do have the I need a nude palette. I have the I need a warm nude palette, this one. And then I have the concealer as well. So I cannot wait to share this information with you guys too. So until next time, see you guys soon.